I don't like making these tapes anymore. I've begun working on an index that will make it possible to find things and work through my films. There's close to 2,000 of them due to this cotton picking situation that we're coming out of, where there was a long lockdown. And of course, the importance to me of my documentation. But I really have to um, add a comment of some depth and gravity, which is that the idea of a challenge to human perception has philosophical repercussions all throughout philosophy. And to ignore the evidence that it was a challenge to Hollywood's hot shots is irresponsible. It is also negligence to ignore the theosophical considerations that are in evidence by very powerful, weird, wrathful people. So, such as the godfather behind Robert Bork. Then we have to figure that the evidence comes from axis cinemaology, which means that the Krohag-Register had a motive in devious enterprises towards the United States. And this was given a golden key by the Houdini pulled by her monster spouse, which is my opinion about what really happened. It was a philosophical, theosophical, and Pentagon Disney spinner beanie challenge. They put on a objectivist switcheroo to allow for the super endowment of the ultra class, the so-called prime movers. It's an Ayn Rand sci-fi warping axis uh, stridency. And I think our allegiance to reality should cause us to question the whole thing that's been presented on that basis. Because what you're doing instead is falsifying in the name of woman day, calm this effete chitter chatter like Louis laughing. You're falsifying what was done to a child and what sort of mind was possible for this child. Midori Goto hems and haws about being a virtuoso who could solve any puzzle. She was not battered in the head. She was not deafened. She was not implanted with a neuroplasm. She was not living in trauma. She was not being shrieked at by adults. She was not being held hostage and held and terrorized and lied to and manipulated by authority figures. So her concept, her little wheedle, is profoundly remiss about the whole concept that has been brought to the table by the Jeffin Corporation. I'm out. I'm not going along with it. I do not want reconciliation with Peter Gabriel. We have irreconcilable differences. The only way to stop it from being the hate that hate produced is to leave someone who you have brutally subjected to hate crimes alone, which would be welcome even at this late date.